guys hear like the Maroon 5 in the background? We're all having like a cook-a-thon out there. I'm totally in like my workout clothes. It's super spiffy, but we're like having a cook-a-thon out there and we're just like blasting Maroon 5. Anyways, today I wanted to bring you a review of the Revlon PhotoReady Airbrush Foundation. It's like an Airbrush Mousse. And this is something that came out like January of 2012. It's supposed to be pretty revolutionary. Maybelline did one. I want to say the L'Oreal did one as well. And thank goodness Beauty Bomb Creams caught on more than this did. I'm going to bring you my review and tell you who I think it works good for, because this did not freaking again work for me. First off, I don't know how many shades it comes in, but so you're not really able to test the shade in the store, so this is supposed to be my shade, and it actually comes out a different shade, which I'll show you. But also something that you have to remember, it says, caution, may explode if heated. Right here, it has a picture of a flame on it, and it says, caution, may explode with heated. And that's kind of like your hairspray, so do not heat this unless you want it to explode. Now, honestly, this product doesn't work for me, so if I was in a really, really angry mood, maybe I would want this to explode, but that's not that safe, so I don't recommend doing it. First off, this is supposed to be a mousse. It's not really airbrush. I don't know why they call it airbrush, but you have to shake it really, really, really well. And I'm going to show you how this comes out, because I honestly got this and I was super duper excited. It comes with a little top like this, and you're supposed to shake it up and you're supposed to put it on your hand and then apply it to your face. Now, I've tried this with a sponge, with a brush, and with my fingertips. I prefer my fingertips the most. Second to that, I would prefer a brush. Then I would prefer a sponge. But honestly, it's not really a foundation that I love all that much, so preferably I wouldn't be wearing it. But if I need to, I would recommend you guys use your fingers with this. So first off, you shake it up, and when it comes out, it's kind of hard to control just because it does foam up so much. But it comes out like this, and if you guys can see, there's kind of like, almost like little bubbles in there that are kind of like foaming out, and they're kind of popping, like pop rocks, or things that pop. And I'll actually show you guys how this works. It's kind of actually pretty interesting. You got all this foam stuff up here, and you guys can see how it's bubbling out there. Now when you touch it, it kind of deflates like that. And when you look at this, it's actually, I would consider this a medium coverage foundation. When it's on my hand, it looks a little bit more full coverage, but when it's actually on your face, it really does sheer out. So this is a medium coverage foundation. If you wanted to do it full coverage, you would need it to be, you'd probably need powder and some other stuff. It would be very difficult to get this to be full coverage, and I'll explain why later. Hi, phone. Give me un momento. Phone ringing. Hello. Hi, Mother Goose. I'm filming a video on foundation that I don't freaking even like.
Sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry. I like you.
I love you.
I love you more. What is it?
And I was wondering if you wanted to come with me.
What is it?
Grandpa Joe called me, and he got a kitty cat.
Grandpa Joe got a snuggle puff?
Yeah, but listen, with me, I thought I would do that. Even if you're just there 20 minutes or something.
Can we get food?
I don't know, maybe.
How can you miss someone so bad before they came into your life? Doesn't make any freaking sense to me. It's like, if you're not in my life, how can I miss you? Anyways, so it comes out like this, and I originally thought that it would be super full coverage. It's honestly not full coverage. It's about medium coverage. I would say it's a little bit more than light. But as you guys can see, it's not completely true to color as the bottle. I feel like it comes off a little bit pinker than it is in the bottle, but at the same time, all of these foundation shades do run fairly yellow. I do think they have a good array of foundation shades. They don't have anything for anyone really, really deep and really, really light, of course, like usual. But they do come off a little bit more of a yellowy tinge, so do beware of that. Also, if you look really closely, this one has like a luminescent shimmer, kind of almost like a little bit of sparkle, and it's not like big old glitter chunks, but you can kind of see in there, it's just like it's a little bit luminous, and that's really, really great if you guys have dry skin, but let me warn you, the luminosity, here's the other thing, this is called PhotoReady. I don't like shimmer or glitter in photos because as a model that can reflect with a flash and make you look freaking fancy. So I would actually not recommend this for photos, which I don't know why they put photo finish. I think they did that on the original too, but I don't remember, or PhotoReady. I would not recommend this for photos, but it's okay if you were trying to wear it every day. Now, the only problem with this is that if you have wrinkles or if you have acne, the kind of glitters in there are going to accentuate those. What happens is that when you put glitter or things like that onto your face, it's going to settle into wrinkles and kind of sit on top of acne pimples. So if you have acne, this is not the product for you. Also, it doesn't cover acne, by the way. It'll really show that, and if you have wrinkles, these glitter pigments will settle into the wrinkles and make them look deeper than they actually are. And right now on my hand, you can't really tell it that much, but I've noticed that after a full day's wear, you can really see that difference, and it is really, really upsetting. So if you have, also it creases, it's really, really bad here on my lips, or on my smile lines. So do beware of that. If you're a creasy person and if you have a lot of that, I may recommend a powder. Setting spray would also probably do you good with this one. What I actually really liked about this is that it doesn't contain a bunch of bad stuff for your skin. So when I originally saw this in the store, I was reading the ingredients. I was like, you know what, that doesn't sound super terrible for acne. But when I actually put this on, I feel like it didn't cover my acne fully because it's not a full coverage foundation. So first off, it didn't cover, and then also the glitter kind of stood out. And if I had like a raised bump, I noticed that it didn't cover that completely. It actually accentuated it because it almost like shone a little light on it. You know what I mean? Like, imagine just putting on your regular foundation and putting glitter all over. Obviously, it's going to like shine off of those big bumps, and that's basically what this did for me, which I didn't really appreciate. How does this actually wear when applied? Like I said, I do prefer to use it with my fingers, but as far as wearability, I was really displeased with this. I would say that this lasted me around 2 to 4 hours. Do you guys hear like the freaky deakin noises back there? I think that's like someone like clinking around with forks. I don't know. Carly Rae Jepsen, Maroon 5, and forks. What is wrong with my life? And like creepy rocking chairs and telescopes. The rocking chair is over there right now. It's really creeping me out. We should do a video where I'm just like chilling in the rocking chair. Maybe I will end up befriending this rocking chair because it's kind of scaring me, but maybe I can be friends with it, you know, maybe it's how it works. I don't know. Inanimate objects in my life freak me out occasionally. That's the moral of this story. But what I noticed about this is that it does kind of oxidize. You guys see how there's like 2 different colors? This is where it's kind of dried a little bit more, and then this is where I just touched. And you guys can see it oxidizes a little bit. So if you are gonna get this, do prepare to get one that's a little bit lighter for you. This does not oxidize throughout the day. I've noticed that once it's set, it doesn't like change at the end of the day. But if you guys can see, right now it's oxidizing on my hand. So do note that it's going to get a little bit darker when you put it on. And as you guys can see, that's very, very, very different from what it looks like in the bottle. Thing about this is that it is super duper freakadeakin oily. This makes me look like an oily mess. Now, when I put on my foundation, I usually try to use a primer and I usually try to remove my oil, but as an oily person, I do get oily throughout the day. This foundation, when it sets, it takes about 1 to 2 minutes to set, but when it sets with like a dewy wet finish. Oh my god. So don't expect this product to be completely mattified. Here's like where it's super sheared out, and you guys can see that's the finish you're going to get. It's going to be dewy like that. And here's the thing, this is another reason that I hate it for photos, is because you don't want it to look like that in photos. In photos, you want usually a mattified face or a slightly satin face, because you don't want the flash to like offset you in photos or anything. So this is kind of how it sets, but you guys can see it still looks very, very dewy. Now, throughout the day, and like when I put it on, it's not that bad, but 2 to 4 hours in, it gets awful. My skin is super, super oily, so I start oiling up. This does not control the oil. This makes me look oily right off the bat, by the way. I'm not wearing it today, but when I apply this, I just look oily right off the bat. Right when I slap it on, I look oily because this just has more of an oily, finishy texture to it. Now, here's the other thing. What I've noticed is like the chemicals in here, when they're on my skin 2 to 4 hours in, I've noticed that the chemicals in here almost like repel away from each other. What is the word I'm looking for? They are not a solution, like oil and vinegar. You know how oil and vinegar separate? You know how oil and vinegar, or vinegar, oil and water, that's what I meant. You know, oil, vinegar, oil and water, you put them in and they kind of separate that like that? That is like exactly what this does on your skin when you wear it. And it was kind of gross. It happened to me like right over here on my cheeks, a lot right here and a lot right here. And it also happened to me way up here on my T-zone and all the way down my nose. And it was really disgusting. And I did have to powder over it, but when I powdered over it, it just got really cakey and it stuck to my brush. It was really disgusting. I think that that's because I have oily skin and because this is more of an oily finish, but I don't know for sure. I do recommend this for dry skin. I think that people who have dry skin, this will give you a nice moisturized look. I think that if you have dry skin, it won't be as bad. Problem if you have flaky dry skin, it'll probably settle into those flakes. If you're a flaky dry skin person, don't use it. If you have dry skin, I would say go for it. It would probably be good for you. But if you're dry skinned with acne, if you're dry skinned and you have wrinkles, or if you're dry skinned and you have big scars, don't use it because it's going to reflect off those and make you look funky. So if you're dry skinned, you don't have flakes, you don't have wrinkles, you don't have scars, you don't have acne, and maybe you're just trying to like fix the coloration and you want a medium to light coverage foundation, I think this would be great for you. Other than that, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Can you guys kind of see how it's like separating into my little wrinkles of my hand? That's kind of what I'm talking about. And imagine that's like on your face, like in your smile lines, or let's say you have wrinkles on your forehead or on your face or something, that's just gonna settle into those just the way it's doing on my hand. Now, the good thing is that it does feel light on my skin. I don't feel like I have a full coverage foundation on when I wear this. It's definitely very, very light. I feel like I'm wearing a tinted moisturizer. It gives a little bit more coverage than a tinted moisturizer, but I wouldn't go far as to say it's covering. I would say it's a medium to like a light to medium coverage, and that's about it. You can do separate layers, but after about 2 layers, it starts to look kind of gross. So I wouldn't recommend more than 2 layers, but yeah. See, what I really loved about it from the get-go was the ingredients. It didn't have oil. It's supposed to be oil-free. It's supposed to be not as many silicones. It's supposed to be good as far as the ingredients are concerned. But when it actually comes down to the formula, I feel like it just didn't perform for me and my acne oily skin. So yes, the ingredients are fine, but as far as performance, it wasn't really that great. So if you have acne, I would not recommend this. Perhaps on places that you aren't oily, like maybe I could get away with it on my chest or something, but it would still take a lot of maintenance and touch-ups through the day to make it actually work. And it's not like a sticky foundation. Like some foundations are very, very sticky. I didn't feel that way. It's not a dry foundation. You don't touch it and it like comes off. But I feel like it's not sticky, it's not dry, it's just greasy. Like you feel like you're a grease bucket all day long. And that's just about it. And you look like a grease bucket too. But if you have dry skin, I think this would be good for you as long as you're not flaky and dry. So yeah, that is what I think of this. Sorry I'm not wearing it. I just could not wear it in a video because it was just all over my face and it would like settle and separate. And you could like see like different oil levels on my skin. It was so gross. But I would recommend it for people who have dry skin, who don't have a lot of those pit scars, don't have a lot of acne, and don't have a lot of those dryness or wrinkles. Again, it is a very, very light coverage foundation, light to medium, so do be aware of that, and be aware that you might have to get a different color than what is in the bottle. One of the great things that I actually do love about this is that it is fairly easy to remove. A lot of foundations I find that I have to sit in the shower and remove them with a towelette, and I use multiple towelettes, and then I go in with a cleanser, then I go in with a pad just to make sure I got all the makeup off, and then I cleanse again, and then I put on my regular acne scrub and all this just to get the makeup off, which is ridiculous. What's nice about this is that with a pad or two or with 2 cleansings, I feel like, oh my god, there's an eagle out there. I wonder if he's a bald eagle. You know what's funny is that they call them bald eagles, but they're not really bald. Their hair is just white up there. It's actually not hair, it's feathers. Anyways, what was that? This is my bald eagle face. Anyways, my bald eagle face would be more like a peck, actually. What was I saying? Yeah, it's fairly easy to remove in the shower, which is actually a very, very good thing. I don't have to sit there for days, and I also like the ingredients in here, but as far as performance, it really didn't do it for me. So if you guys have tried this foundation, please tell me, did you like it or did you not like it? What did you think about it? How did it work for you? And what is your skin type? And if you could post a video response, because that would help the entire world. But I love you guys so much. Again, I hope that this helped you, and I cannot wait to talk to you all soon. Love you guys. Bye.